Where does everything, including yourself, come from?
What we don't know is what began the universe, and physics comes to an end there. It cannot tell us because we cannot do experiments to work that out. We can make philosophically based theories of where the universe came from, but we can't test them. So they are what I would call scientifically based philosophy, or they're metaphysics. Some of my colleagues are trying to sell you that they are physics, but they're not physics, because in my mind science must be testable, and there's no way to test the laws they are proposing for how the universe came into being.
Values. Where do our values come from? How do we know what is true and beautiful? And
we develop, I don't want to talk about beauty, that's a very difficult area. Let's talk about true and right and wrong. My position on morality, how do we learn morality? A certain amount comes from our emotions. Our emotions say certain things are right and certain things are wrong. A certain amount comes from evolutionary stuff. Certain things tend to make us survive, certain things don't. Those can account for what I would call shallow morality, what enables us to live together. It doesn't account for the deep morality I've mentioned. Kenosis, giving up, sacrificing on behalf of others, that by definition cannot come from the evolutionary processes, because the definition is that you're giving up without expecting or getting a reward for that. There isn't the feedback loop which can change genes and make you learn that. That's what we learn from our experience, our inspirational figures, and from our own rumination on it. It's from seeing what we think is important, what is beautiful, what is wonderful.
Epistemology now. How do we know what we know?
We know what we know by our experiences, the learning cycle. You get up, you start as an infant, you have a basic theory, you try it out, it works, you keep it, it doesn't work, you drop it. It's a Darwinian process, the process of adaptive selection. And the deep parts that happened is, firstly, when you go symbolic, when you represent this symbolically, the huge step this human race took was symbolism, learning to do this. And then when you learn to do it quantitatively, you learn to make it quantitative, which enables you to do, and you can't do engineering without quantitative analysis. And so the first step is rationality, which you then form theories which you can talk about, which is where philosophy, and then there's the mathematization that comes in, which is where engineering and technology come in. These are the big steps, but you test them all the way.
And where is everything going, and what role do you want to play in that?
On the big scale, the universe is probably going to expand forever. It's going to become more and more diffuse. Everything is going to cool down, and there'll be this eternal silence, and that's the probable ending of the universe as a whole. And more locally, the sun will probably blow up in a couple of 10 billion years' time, evaporate the Earth, and all life on Earth will come to an end if it hasn't come to an end before then.
Worst case scenario, we've got 10 billion years.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And what role do you want to play in all of this?
In that, I want to help understanding it. On the small scale, I have for a long time, and I continue to be involved in trying to help individuals and groups in the community have better lives, and I've been doing that since the 1970s.